Thank you. Mr. Wenstrup is recognized for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Ranking Member Neal for bringing something up today where he was talking about work improving quality of life for people, and that really is the bottom line. And it brings out the joy of independence in life. The problem we have is too many of the, for example, poverty legislative policies that have come from Democrats have left people in a life of dependence, whereas our policies are more towards a life of independence for people. You know, for the last 60 years or so in our country, basically the mantra was, if you don't get a 4-year degree, then somehow you failed. But the 4-year degree is not the American dream by any means. And that was a problem for us. Look, I'm a surgeon. I have nothing against 4-year degrees. I have 3 of them, and there's a lot I can do in the operating room. But I can't build that operating room. I can't make the equipment. I can't fix that equipment. And you know what? That equipment has to get there somehow, doesn't it, Mr. Redmond? So this is what it takes for America to succeed. That's all levels, because education is workforce development. That's what it should be, so that people can live a life of opportunity. I had an opportunity to go to a college prep Catholic high school. I was allowed to excel there. That's the opportunity that I got. I know a young man, he became valedictorian at that same high school. He's not Catholic, he's Indian. He's a Hindu. I said, why'd you go to this school? He goes, I needed a place where I was allowed to excel. And that opportunity came. I think of great educators like Jaime Escalante, if you know who that is. Watch Stand and Deliver about his life, where he said, children will rise to the level of their expectations. People want the choice to go to a place where there are expectations and therefore opportunity afterwards. That's what choice provides us. I chair the select subcommittee on the pandemic, and we're looking at things like school closures. And you know, we had some schools closed when the school down the street was open. And no plan from those schools to catch the kids up. None whatsoever. This is a problem. I remember sitting down with leadership of my local NAACP, and I asked them, where are you on school choice? Oh, we're against it. No, we're against it. Where do your kids go to school? Both of them, their kids were in private schools. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. I remember during the summer of the riots, I met with a group of African-American businessmen, some I knew from college, et cetera. And I asked them about what they thought on school choice. And one said, oh, no. Kids want to go to school where their friends are, and that's what they want to do, and that's what they should do and be able to do. Another guy, he played basketball at Xavier, he said, I don't want anyone telling me where my kids have to go to school. Another one played at the University of Cincinnati. He said, my parents sent me to Catholic school till 5th grade. I wore the uniform and everything. I begged them to let me go with my friends at the local school. He said, I went there 2 weeks, and I said, get me the heck out of here, and I went right back to that school. That's the reality, folks. And you know what? Choice will make public schools have to be more competitive. And that's what we want. But in that vein, because I do want to ask a question in my time, but I'm so glad to talk about it. I'm so passionate about this stuff. I've been involved with a private entity that helps kids get an opportunity to go to private Catholic schools starting in 4th grade through high school, through college, even housing where they're mentored if that's the situation and their parents say, our home is not the best place for my child. These are successful programs. Doctors, lawyers, educators, Super Bowl champions, all of that has come out of that program. But I want to ask Mr. DeAngelis, what is the effect of school choice in rural areas? Because I have a large rural population. In the rural areas of the country where there may not be a lot of K through 12 alternatives, can you talk about the benefits of the ECCA, the Expanding Community College Apprenticeships program, for these rural areas?
Yeah, if you look at states like Florida, they have rural areas too. According to Step Up for Students, over the past couple of decades since they've expanded private school choice in that state, the number of private education providers has doubled in the rural areas. So when you build it, they will come. You put the money into the hands of families, more providers are going to respond to that demand, and especially if you allow for non-private school tuition expenses as well. It's another good reason why expanding 529 accounts to other expenses would also be a good idea for rural areas where you don't have to start another brick and mortar private school in order to use the program. And then look, the worst case scenario is that nothing changes in a rural area. If you don't have a lot of private options and they don't sprout up immediately, well then if you like your public school, you can keep your public school, but for real this time, and the public schools will improve in response to competition over time. 10 out of 11 studies from Florida find that, 26 out of 29 nationally find positive effects of school choice competition. And I just got to mention, because you mentioned during the COVID era, a peer-reviewed study by Michael Hartney and Leslie Finger in 2021 found that in places that had more Catholic schools nearby, the public schools were more likely to open their doors for business too. Why? Because they had an incentive, because families could actually vote with their feet elsewhere. They thought, well, maybe I should, if I don't want to bleed in enrollment, maybe I should open my doors for business. And they found that after controlling for a ton of different background characteristics, including political persuasions in the areas as well. So we have so much evidence on the side of education freedom, and it's just a logical thing to do. The parents are in the best position to make these decisions.
Thank you. Yield back.